I was putting on my face.
Oh,
Okay.
darn it. I lost a bet.
Make sure my boobs look great, stuff like that.
your audio is bad.
I know. I don't have my fucking headphones. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Damn, that was good.
Go upstairs and get my microphone.
I'm working off my phone today. This is interesting.
are you?
Yeah, I know. Doesn't look like, huh? That's the art of illusion.
All right. When Steve gets back, we will start.
I mean, I can hear you. I got the headphones on. You can just go.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the Gag
I might
On
be
This.
walking around a little bit. Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the Gag On This podcast. I am Big Nick. I am joined always by my Portuguese lover that is Rob. And he's on mute like an asshole.
Hello.
There we fucking go. Joined by the Italian stallion that is Danny D.
What?
We got honorary co-host Sharon.
Greetings.
And we are joined by the hilarious Steve Furey, who has a jug of water.
Gotta stay hydrated, bro. It's the apocalypse, man.
Oh,
There
no.
How you guys
go.
doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Not
How
bad.
is LA doing with the lockdown?
Oh, it's pretty wild. LA proper. I live in West Hollywood, so it's very liberal, and they're taking it really, really serious. It's fucking gnarly. But I went to go sneak on the beach, right? And I was gonna go to Malibu, just by myself. But I heard that Huntington was open, and I drove by there, and they don't even care. Orange County Beach doesn't care at all. No one's in masks. No one. The restaurants are open. And there's 40,000 people on the beach. It's wild.
Damn.
So did you go to the beach and have fun?
Nah, I went back up to Malibu where it's safer.
Oh.
Now, is LA traffic as shitty as they make it out to be?
Oh yeah, it's abysmal. It just takes 45 minutes to get wherever you want, whether close or far. It just takes about 45 minutes. Right now, it's dope, man. You can walk in the middle of the street. It's like an apocalypse. Shit's lit. It's the best time to do anything.
As long as you're not in Orange County.
Yeah, don't go to Orange County. But as a proper rule, Orange County's whack anyway. There's no reason to go there. Just a bunch of malls.
So,
Basically.
you won't know this because this is the first time meeting. You are actually the reason I decided to take a stand-up class.
Oh.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I wouldn't have suggested a stand-up class.
Do you? We hear mixed things on that. What are your thoughts on a stand-up class?
I would have two things. I think it's a way for guys to make stand-ups to make money, which isn't a bad thing. I think if you're a person who's kind of scared to try new things, it's a good way. But do I think it's a necessity? No. The real stand-up class would be go to an open mic every night for 5 years, and then think at the end of those 5 years if you want to keep doing stand-up. But if you need to get some legs under yourself, you're a little nervous to go in front of people, a stand-up class isn't a bad way to start. But you don't need it.
All right. Well, I could have used you about a year ago then.
Did you keep doing stand-up?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's okay. It's a very tedious lifestyle.
Well, that and I wake up early.
Ooh, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't.
So why did I make you take that stand-up class?
Well,
Why did I
because
get you to think of that?
I saw you do a stand-up set. I was looking at Comedy Spot and just looking around for comedy classes, and I saw your set at Comedy Spot. You did a joke. Yeah, you did a joke about your dog passing away.
I don't know, a long time ago, or you?
That was a long. I mean, your set was a long time ago.
Yeah. I kind of remember that.
He's just
I haven't said
fantasized
that in a
about you
while.
ever since.
I'm happy someone has to.
He only started comedy so he could meet you.
Well, we got to hang out sometime, man. Get a beer at the Comedy Spot, I guess.
He doesn't drink.
Oh, man, what a nerd.
I'll just show.
This dude goes to school and doesn't drink? What a L7,
right? I'm the only one that has fun on this podcast, damn it, Steven.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'll show up with my milk gallon of water.
Because I'm hungover, dude. This is what cool people do. Once your alcoholism gets to the peak, you know that you have to chug water so that your night you can drink as much as you want.
The best I saw is I went drinking with a paramedic, and he shot himself up with IV so he wouldn't be
Saline?
Yeah, so he wouldn't be hungover the next day.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's like what rich people do. They have people that can, like in LA, it's big. Like you'll party, and then there's like people that will drive over like businesses, and they just pop one in your arm, and you're not hungover anymore.
Oh.
It like works within like minutes, but it's like $200.
Jesus. Well,
If I pay an extra $5, can I get heroin?
You can probably get $5. You can get heroin.
I just head to Orange County.
Yeah, Orange County's got a problem for sure.
So I want to talk about something exciting happened about a year ago. You became a paid regular at, let's see if I can find it, the Comedy Store, right?
Yeah, the Comedy Store. Yeah, a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I became a paid regular there. That was fun. It was cool. It's a really hard thing to do. They only do about 4 or 5 people a year. It's even harder to do if you're relatively unknown. But it just, like anything, it just takes – anything you really want to do, it takes a long time. You got to kind of find the path to what you want. And for me, it was I had to move to LA, not knowing anybody. I got a job as a door guy there, and then just slowly made my way up the chain till then I got passed. And pretty good. I can't complain.
So is getting passed the same as becoming a paid regular, or are there extra steps for that?
That's the same stuff. So it would go. So you, if you wanted me to just talk about the whole process of getting into the Comedy Store, if you're not famous, what you would do is you'd show up every Monday, and that's called potluck, and it's like an open mic, but they choose 16 people. So you try to get on that, and if you do good at that, then Adam is the booker. So if you know a lot about comedy, the old lady who used to book was named Mitzi Shore. She started the Comedy Store. Yeah. She's dead, so Adam took her spot, and now he's the new Mitzi
Pauly Shore's mom.
Yeah, Pauly Shore's mom, exactly. She owns the place. Pauly has a stake, but he's not in charge at all. People think he's in charge, but if you ever met Pauly, you'd be like, this motherfucker can't be in charge of anything. He's like still the Encino man or whatever. His mind's lost. So then you start doing on the mic, and if you do well, Adam says come back again. If you do well, he says you're part of friends and family, and then you start sending in avails to get on. It's kind of like you go to a normal comedy show, and then 5 minutes before it starts, they throw up an unknown guy anywhere in the Comedy Store, and that would be you. And then you do that for a couple years, and then you get showcased in front of the booker again, and then you get passed. And that's how I got passed. But I became a door guy, which is like a lot of comics were door guys, like Rogan, Joey Diaz, Ari Shaffir, all those guys.
Fucking Ari as a door guy, I can only imagine.
Yeah, he brought his dick out a lot from the rumors that I've heard.
I believe it. I mean, he showed his asshole to a couple comics, I remember.
Yeah, I've heard most of my friends have seen it. I've done my best to stay away from it because the rumors are it's quite disfigured. Like one of those sumo oranges. Have you ever seen a sumo orange?
Yeah.
It's very lumpy.
Wow.
And lesions.
Now, Adam, he's the co-host on Norm Macdonald's show, right?
Yeah, he is. It's my best thing, and he was also the booker for that David Spade's Lights Out. But watching Norm's show is like fucking almost gets my dick hard because you get to see a guy that I have to like respect and bow down to just get obliterated every show by Norm. And it's great because it's like if you're like general manager at your work or like your shift leader just got told that he gave hand jobs for a nickel under a bridge. It's like, yes, this is exactly what I need.
Wow.
So I was looking at your social media and stuff, and you worked with Robin Williams, or like you featured.
I opened for him not opened for him. He was at in Northern California. There's a place called the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, and about 8-9 years ago, all the rich people in the Bay Area actually live in Mill Valley, like the crazy rich ones or the little older ones.
That's true.
So Dana Carvey and Robin Williams lived in mansions above the place. So every Tuesday they'd come down and sneak into the show. So then I got to be on the show with him. But I never opened for him. I met him a couple times. Very nice guy. Very kind fella.
But
I was just on shows with him.
So what's up with Dating No Filter on E?
What's it's a dating show. Last season, there's been 4 seasons. I'm on 2 of them. I was on last season, and I'm on this season. It starts in May. It's essentially like, you guys remember Mystery Science Theater?
Okay. Oh God, yes.
Like the original one? Okay, cool. And then you remember back in like the 90s, you'd stay up to like 3 a.m. and that show Blind Date would come on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right? So, and it'd go like boop, boop, and it'd say like a little thing like talking shit. It's essentially like they mixed Blind Date and Mystery Science Theater 3000 in one show. And I just sit on the couch with some other comedians and make fun of people behind their back. It's very nice.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I took
I can't complain.
I took a peek at a couple episodes, and some of you guys are ruthless, man.
Yeah. The other 2 hosts, it's like there's like a gay group and there's like this little catty group, and they say a lot more wild shit than I do, you know, because I don't know, I'm not really too catty.
All right, so I gotta ask you this because it was a little weird. So there's 2 Steve Fureys on IMDb. One of them has no pic, but has Mama Boy listed. Were you in Mama Boy?
I don't think I was in Mama Boy. I mean, I could do it. I could look it up, and maybe it was a drunken night, and it was more of a, like a self-tape or a video I made with a couple friends. But no, I don't think so. I'm not on Mama Boy. I have an IMDb, but it's not lit at all. It's pretty fucking embarrassing. And I pay for it is the worst part.
Oh.
You have to pay for that?
Yeah, you have to pay for IMDb Pro, and it's like all this shit. Once you get like a manager and agents and stuff, they make you do all this stuff before you have.
So it's like the star on the Boulevard. You got to pay for that.
Yeah. It's exactly the same thing.
You have to pay for recognition, man. You got to pay for it.
It's like all pyramid schemes, you know what I mean? You pay money.
True that.
So you do a couple shows. One show you do is with a, I don't know if he's still local, but Punching Up with Saul.
Oh yeah, I mean
He's in
Saul. He's in LA now. Yeah, I do Punching Up. It's a little stupid Instagram show. Just pretty much we just watch people fight each other and make fun of them. It's really low class and sort of embarrassing, but it has a small loyal following, and we just get drunk and watch people fight. It's like it's really for the people that like the degenerate kids that used to watch CKY and bum fights. You know, it's like this sad lost generation of kids smoking weed and watching people pummel themselves, and we try to address that group of people.
So where do you go for your fights? WorldStar?
We do deep Reddit stuff. We try to go deep on the Reddit stuff, because a lot of stuff you just look up like best street fights and stuff. That's people already done it, or it's been on Tosh, you know. And we're not looking for like. There's a lot of videos that we won't put on. We don't want to watch someone just get beat up. It's really normally the guy who talks the shit who ends up getting knocked out. So then everyone wins. You know, everyone's really stoked. That's the stuff we do.
Right.
Do you guys have any questions before I go on? You guys are very fucking silent.
Man crush on him right now. I see your smile through the microphone. I see it. You're so satisfied.
Oh.
I love it.
So Steve, have you also worked in New York, or just mostly all Los Angeles?
Yeah, I just did a tour in New York for 2 weeks, right before Corona really hit. I was a little worried, man, because I was really in the trenches. It's great, you know. I really like New York. You're all West Coast people, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like West Coast more, because New York is just like everything's like an adventure, and that's fun in the beginning. But then you're like, oh, I ran out of milk. You're like, well, I got to take a fucking train to the goddamn store to get milk, and then take a train back. But I did all the clubs there, except the Comedy Cellar. I did Caroline's. I did New York City Comedy Club. I did Stand Up New York. I did a bunch of the best alt shows. It's really cool to, I'm definitely not famous. I mean, I live off comedy, but I'm definitely not famous. But it's nice to be able to go across the country and be able to get on all the shows that you want. You know, it's a fun little thing to get to this area in my career.
I always hear that Los Angeles, trying to make comedy in Los Angeles is hard. Doing comedy in Los Angeles is harder than doing comedy in New York. Do you see some of that?
So I would say the main difference is starting comedy. and comedy in general in LA. Because, you know, in LA, these are my friends, you know, business friends, work friends, but I go up at night and I'm at the Comedy Store. I'm competing with Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer, Joey Diaz for spots. They get a lot more spots than I do, and they go up in a lot better. They go up in a lot better time than I do. But it's still, these are the people you're competing against. Whereas if you go to New York, the real top flight comedy in New York, they moved to LA, so it's a little easier to get stage time. The real thing you'd never want to do is, if you're going to start comedy, never start it in LA, because the open mics are the worst thing I've ever been to in my life. It's fucking crazy. It's just like one guy in front of two guys, then everyone's on their phone, you're just talking into the ether. And then if you ever get like a chance, right? Let's say you start in LA and there's an agent and he sees you and he likes you and you're only 2 years in, and he's like, hey, I'm going to showcase you. Come out. I want to watch you with a couple people from my agency. You go up, you're only 2 years in, you're not that good, you bomb. Next time he sees you, even if it's been 5 years later, in his head, he's like, that's the guy who bombed. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in second grade, where that one peed his pants and you're still in high school. Like, yeah, it's Timmy, the guy who peed his pants in fucking Mrs. Sawyer's class. You don't want to be Timmy. You don't want to be Timmy peeing his pants guy.
And
PP
so
Timmy.
many people do that.
So many people do that. And
I
it's
see it all the
such a
time at like the Sunday showcase in SF. I mean, so many fucking people are like, oh, I'm gonna get on, and then they're just not ready.
yeah. It's like everyone wants to get to the big leagues, but you want to stay in the big leagues. You don't want to go up there and miss and strike out. You want to go up there and get a base hit at least. So that's why I'd always say, you know, just be more prepared. Starting in Sacramento is such a treat because there's like 4 or 5 comedy clubs. The stage time is great. You know, you can go to the Comedy Spot. There's 2 open mics there a week, sold out. Luna's on Tuesdays. I haven't been to Sacramento for a while, so I don't really know all the open mics. But then it's a really great place to start.
Open mic every night.
Yeah, there's open mic, and there's an audience.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Whereas in LA, you will never. It's not even a bit I'm trying to do. If you do an open mic, unless it's at a comedy club, unless it's at the Comedy Store, that's the only open mic that there's audience. There will not be a single audience member.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's you just saying jokes to a empty room. So you see why these people lose their minds. Because it's like sicko shit. They're already somewhat mentally unbalanced to think they can move to LA and make it. And then you stick them in rooms that you pay $5 to do the open mics here.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no
you have
shit.
to pay $5,
You got
and you have to do like 3 a night. What?
to pay to perform?
You got to pay to perform. In the beginning, I don't, but like the littler guys
Sure.
starting, you got to pay to perform.
I mean, it isn't really a bad idea because, I mean, honestly, if you really want to do it, why not put some money towards it? Fucking, you'll value your time more up there, I think, personally. Like, sometimes here in Sacramento, they'll just let fucking any drunk ass go up there on the mic, and it's like, Jesus, I'm trying to do something here.
I resent that.
I would agree. But what people started doing down here is there's people that make like $20,000 a month. So there's a place called Bert's Back Room in the 4th wall. And what they do is you can sign up. There's 5-minute spots, and they'll do 12 an hour, right? I've never done this, but I know a lot of people that do this. And those people, so the 12 people can't leave the room, the 12 other comics. They have to watch you, right?
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. But it's also okay. But that person does it from noon till 11 at night. So they make like $600 a day, the person who owns that place.
Oh, okay.
So there's like these 2 businesses where these people make a shit ton of money just selling stage time to delusional people.
How long have you been doing comedy?
I'm not 100% sure. I think 9 years. It's between 9 and 8 years, around there.
And
you started
in Sacramento?
Yeah. I started at Laughs Unlimited. You know, it's a great place to.
Yeah.
If you can get in there, you know, Jenny. If you just show her a little loyalty. Like when I started, I would go there every Friday and Saturday. If you're starting comedy, you can still do this. I don't know why people don't do it anymore. And you can get a guest set on one of the shows. Yeah.
I mean, I'm the only one that does comedy on this podcast, but I do that. I do it at Punch. I do it at Laughs. Wherever
I mean, Laughs, Punch is a little more rigid. They're not just they just let people get guest spots now?
Depending, because they have the callback bar now. So a lot of times the comic that, you know, had the weekend room will come to the callback bar, and then they'll be able to watch, you know, others. And if they like your set, they'll ask you to, you know, host or fucking do something. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't have the callback bar when I was there, but I like that bar though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can go to Laughs on a Friday and a Tuesday and then get a guest spot if no one's there. And then so that's 2 spots a week in front of a sold out crowd pretty much. Laughs is always popping. That you get to do. So it's a really nice place to start. I really like Sacramento. But after a while, there's nothing you can do there if you want to keep going.
By the way, thank you, Danny, for always dropping that on every fucking episode.
Seriously.
I'm the only one that does comedy on this comedy podcast. Ugh.
It did an open mic in February.
You did. I was there. I remember.
Yeah, it's the coronavirus. Everyone would have still been doing comedy, but the coronavirus isn't letting them.
That's it. Yeah, I don't do comedy because of the coronavirus, Danny.
All right, I'll let you think that. Delusional.
So,
Fucking delusional.
Steve, speaking of which, since the coronavirus starts, we got a lot of people that have come on, and some of them not done the whole Zoom comedy
Show?
or some have.
Yeah, I've done
Have
the
you?
show. Yeah. Honestly, what's wild to me is I feel like I don't know really how to do stand-up anymore. Like, I'm like a very cadence-based. My stand-up has like a ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and I lost it on the jokes. I don't really remember them. And I don't really – so I did the show, and I don't – and when you do a Zoom show, I don't know if it seems like autistic just to like go into like jokes because no, you can't hear laughs. So it seems like you're supposed to be more conversational. I don't know, man. It's like if there's no water available, I guess I'll drink Arrowhead water, but it's disgusting and I don't really want to do it. I mean, that's what it is. It's just like, all right, I guess I'll do them, and if I get paid, I can make some money, but it's really weird. Some people are making real money though.
Yeah.
So
I did one with like 60 people the other day. It was pretty good, but it's still weird feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Danny's going to be on Verbal Insults Roast. I'm sure that's going to get some attention.
Yeah, that's cool. You're going to roast some people?
I'm going to roast Anthony Saccaro. I guess he's an LA comic. I've never met him. I mean, I've looked him up. I've got some shit, but yeah. I mean,
how many jokes do you have to do?
5.
Oh, that's a decent amount.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to roast people for me that I don't know. Like, if I know you, I'll roast the shit out of you. I'll hurt your feelings. But you know, if I don't know you, it's going to be a little less intimate because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, your back history.
Yeah.
You don't know the deepest, darkest secrets. I did roast battle a few times down here, but after a while, I was okay with it. But Sacramento one's doing pretty good, right? Josh Means? Is he the guy?
Yeah, Josh Means
most
and
definitely.
Al Schumann.
Yeah, I don't know if I met Al, but I know Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Josh scored a pretty big name judge, Zach Amico, who's a comedian in New York. So that was
just like a clown, right?
yes, you know him good.
Yeah. I mean, at the Comedy Store, I kind of know the roast battle people because they used to be important there.
Well, Josh won the roast battle last year in New York at Skankfest, I believe. He won a naked roast
Josh
battle.
Means?
Yeah, Josh Means.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he I think when they were gonna do Skankfest LA, but I guess that got canceled.
I think it was still in Texas.
Well, no, they were gonna do a Texas one in March. That one definitely got canceled, and then they were gonna do LA in September.
Oh, cool. I mean, from what I'm talking to my agent or my manager and agents, they saying stand-up's not gonna come back till 2021.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, that's the first time I started worrying because I had a little bit of a savings, but 10 months or 8 more months that's a long time.
Yeah. Ugh, man. Maybe you'll go work at Sir.
What's Sir?
Sure.
Vanderpump Rules, guys. Come on now.
That restaurant? Oh, yeah.
Show.
Well, it's right by my house. I've walked past that place all the time. I would never go in there, but it's in the area. In the area it's in is like a place I don't even want to be seen. You know what I mean? It's not like a gay thing. It's just like I definitely don't care about gay people, but it's like just the type of people, just like tiny dogs and Instagram models. Just like that shit's icky over there.
Yeah, model in the very loosest of terms.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
That's what you're
Lady
watching.
who gets paid for feet pics on OnlyFans.com.
Danny.
Hey.
Danny would do it.
I'm a phone
Make her
sex
money, dude.
operator, so I mean, I do all kinds of shit. It's fine.
Is that what you do? Do people
Yeah, that's what
still
I-
use phone sex?
Yeah, that's what I do for a living.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's everybody's response, by the way, is like, really? With Pornhub?
That's even my fucking response. I'm like, why are you guys calling me? It's 2020. Yeah. He had to go.
No, he's right there.
Nope, there it is. I had a phone call. I don't know how I would block that. But
I don't think you can with Zoom. It's lame. So your move to LA, do you feel that's sort of a natural progression for a comedian to do?
you know what, man? It's just I don't know, man. It's such a hard thing to do and would suggest most people really against it. Just I would go when you feel like you really have to go. You know, like there's nothing left for me up there. I already worked all the clubs. And it's worked out really well for me, you know? Like within like 2 years, I was passed at the Comedy Store. Within 3 years, I was on a TV show. This year, I started headlining across the country. But most people, it doesn't work out. And I'm a pretty funny guy. But, you know, comedy is it's three things. And they're all very, very important. And you can have two of them. You don't need all three. But you have to have two of them. You're very good. It's about who you know, your friends, and lucky. And I was pretty good and got lucky, and so it's been nice for me. But a lot of people it doesn't work out for because it's just so hard, you know, to be like a guy who's at all the clubs in Northern California, you know what I mean, or New York, and then you come to LA and you have to start paying $5 to go to open mics. It's the shot to your ego, the humbling moment. There's a lot of things people can't really go through.
Would you say most people end up moving back to wherever they came from?
100%, man. And I don't blame them. And I would too, you know. But it's also – so what happens when you first move down here, all the contacts you've made in your comedy career, you book up 2 months of shows. In your head, you're like, this is what LA is going to be like, man. Got shows every night. But once in LA you get booked by a show, you won't get booked again for another year. So once you move through those 2 months, then you're showless for a long time. What I did was I started 4 shows.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, I started this one called Bear City in Long Beach. Every Wednesday we give away free pizza and the shows are sick. That thing sold out, so then I had shows there. And then I booked 2 shows at the Comedy Store. One called Follow That, which is we play extremely horrible videos and people try to do a stand-up video after it. It's a really fucked up show. It was pretty funny though.
What are you calling horrible?
So not like gross stuff like that, but like really sad. Like we have this one where someone made like a really heartfelt cartoon about this girl's speech about her dad dying on 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like she's talking about how she misses her dad.
Wow.
And how she's gonna be alone. I'm laughing out of like how sick and sad it is as like a reaction. Not that I think it's funny at all. It's like so inappropriate.
So it's like
and
doing
then,
comedy, after a video documentary on miscarriage.
Exactly, like a 2-minute short. And then you have to go up and talk about like the difference between pears and apples. So it's like
or pasta
that
sauce.
That show surprisingly didn't work out.
It sounded like fun.
There's potential.
Yeah, we thought it would have been better, but
not enough sick fucks in the world.
Yeah, it's more of like an internet show, I feel like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started this new one, which is kind of like having a theme without a theme. It's called Buried, where it's 3 famous comics go up and 3 comics you don't know try to follow them.
Oh. And
so that one's pretty easy because it's just 3 famous people that I get to sell the tickets and 3 of my friends.
Now, did you ever get to a point in LA where you sort of questioned whether or not you should stay?
Yeah, for sure, man.
I love your reaction too. You're like, yeah.
Like, who the
I remember the night. When I first moved down here, I worked at this group home. It was fucked up group home, man. It was really fucked up. It was like 13 to 18-year-old boys, and they just went through some serious trauma, you know, and they would just fight all the time. So every day I'd wake up at 6 in the morning. I would go fight 13 to 18-year-olds. I couldn't use my fists, and I can't. You just pin them down a certain way, but they can, you know. I'd fight them all day till like it was like 6 in the morning till like 2. I would go do open mics. Then I'd go to the store at like till like midnight because you had to show your face. And then I go to sleep for a couple hours and do that, right? So I was doing that, and I was getting real tired. And then one night I got drunk, and I was driving home on Sunset, and I smashed my car in the back of someone's car.
Oof.
Right in the back. And I was drunk, dude. Bow! Right in the back of this person's car. And I kind of wake up, and I look up, and no one's there. It's on the corner of Sunset and La Brea. There's a very, not famous, but there's a very popular Rite Aid there. And I look up, and no one's there. And in my head, for some reason, I thought, like, the person had hit me, right? So I pull over. I get out my car because it's not driving. I drive down the street. I come back to my car, pull in to the Rite Aid parking lot, and it's filled with, like, 6 cop cars. And then I'm, like, freaking out. I'm like, fuck, I'm about to get a DUI, about to go to jail. And I go, and I'm walking up, and they go, yo, did you hit this car? And I go, yeah, man, they stopped short. And they go, are you drunk? I was like, no. And they were like, okay. They let me go.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was wild.
That's fucking
It was like the
awesome.
most white privilege thing I've ever had in my life.
Just gonna say, chalk that up to being a white guy.
Yeah, that was sick. But I had no car, and I just started working at the Comedy Store. And LA's a really sad, scary place when you don't have a car, you know, because Uber's pretty cheap here, but it's still far anywhere you got to go, so it's a little expensive. So I was thinking about going home, and then I go to the Comedy Store, and I'm parking cars as a door guy. Joe comes in, Joe Rogan. You know, he's like talking to me. He's like, you look sad. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking smashed my car. And he's like, well, he goes, keep coming, and I'll tip you good. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep coming. So next 10 days, he gave me $875.
Damn.
And then I was able to buy my new shitty-ass little car. My buddy was getting a new Prius, so he's going to trade in his car, and they only give him $1,000. He's like, I'll sell my car to you for $1,000 if you can get the money in 2 weeks. Joe Rogan came every day for like 2 weeks, tipped me like $1.50 every day, $150, and then I was able to buy that car, and then I stayed.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
Nice.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Joe, I would have moved home probably.
Well,
He's a
Joe,
really
if
great
you're
guy.
listening,
Nick's mad at you.
do you,
He's like one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life.
he seems like it. Are there any?
It's all, yeah.
It's all
keep
what?
going with it. It's all real. Like, he's a really good dude. Like when he's like, what's the crazy thing is, man, when I worked there for like 3 years, 2.5, 3 years at the Comedy Store as a door guy, and then you get to meet all the famous people. And what the most wild thing is in LA, man, is not meeting the famous people, but seeing who tips and who doesn't, and how much they tip. And you really lose respect for someone who doesn't tip. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say who. Sasha
I was
Baron
about to
Cohen.
say,
I want to ask so many questions, but I'm not going to.
You can.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Frank
Ari
Ocean did.
Shafir.
Ari Shafir tips fat. He's $20. $20 every time if you're parking his car. So Duncan Trussell's $20 every time. But these are comics. I don't really want to shit on them. I'll do the famous people that don't tip. Sasha Baron Cohen,
Oh, damn.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, it is, man. He don't even tip the bartenders.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't tip the valet, dude. I was a valet. He didn't tip me.
Damn.
Fucking Dave's got money from that Netflix. Shit, he can afford it.
He's got over $250 million.
Yeah. Fuck.
But that's the most wild things, man. Seeing people that you looked up to. Not Dane Cook don't tip. He's kind of a piece of shit, man.
That doesn't surprise me.
How
He's
long
trying
have
to be
you been in
better.
LA?
But he's not. What was that?
How long have you been in LA?
4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. I feel more at home here now than at Sacramento.
Yeah.
Things just change, you know. When I go back, everyone has kids and comedy scenes change. It's weird.
Since you've been back, how do you think it's changed from when you left?
You know, I was like a downtown guy. If you hang out in downtown, there's like classes of kids. You know, there's like downtown gets run by like young kids, and then the older people get pushed farther and farther out. And so, like, now I'm hanging out at, like, older people bars. Like, what's the one
you're
on?
older.
Yeah, because I'm old. Exactly.
They don't want a creepy-ass guy in downtown. They don't want an old guy in downtown. They kicked you out.
100%, yeah. That's what changed, is it's the people I was with are now adults with jobs and kids.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. I'm still learning.
I'm good. I'm going to pass on that one, too.
Yeah.
Well, she has two. So.
Oh.
Okay. What? I've passed on being an adult? Fuck you.
No, you have two kids, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I do. But they're gone.
She forgot she had two kids.
It's quarantine.
They're in the car.
They're here with me. Fine. Fine. They're fucking on their own. They're grown.
They're grown.
Really? They're not even 18 yet. God dang.
My daughter's almost there.
Almost.
Damn, you've had a kid for 18 years? Ah.
Yeah.
She's looking forward to her bringing her boyfriends over. Legal meat.
Guys, stop talking about me.
Rob, I like how you sound like a fucking NPR announcer.
How's that? Okay,
were you on Hot Ones? Did you? I heard that you were
No. My buddy, one of my best friends, is named Jesus Trejo. Mm-hmm. He has a show called Tacos con Todo, I think, on Complex. So we got to go to Complex Con and meet. I got to meet that guy. I think his name's Evan, right? Oh, okay. I got to meet Evan. I got to be on the set, and then we got to meet like rappers and stuff, and then we got all this VIP treatment. But no, I was on the set, but I wasn't on it. I've had the sauces.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to try them with. I got to try them with Jesus. They're pretty fucking hot, man.
Are they?
Yeah. That last dab is pretty fucking hot, dude. It's not a joke.
I'm a mild kind of girl, so I wouldn't make it on that show at all. Like, I see them just tearing up, like, on the third one, and I'm like, oh, shit, no, not going to happen.
I like that idea of a show. I'm pretty spicy. I got to have something spicy in almost anything I eat, other than, like, obviously sweets.
Out of curiosity, is your friend related to Danny Trejo?
Trejo? No. Danny Trejo is – what's up?
I was going to say, I think that's just the racist in me that's like, oh, must be related.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's just, there's only like 5 last names for Mexican people, and that's just one of them.
Yeah. Somebody's last name is Chavez. I'm like, oh, you related to Caesar?
Yeah, exactly.
So with all the big name comedians coming through, have you ever like sat and picked their brain on like working jokes and things?
You don't really do that too much, but I've out and had drinks with everybody. Like, anyone really. I know Joey Diaz is pretty cool. He doesn't really drink that much. He takes a lot of edibles. Jesselnick. There's like this secret back bar at the Comedy Store that only paid regulars can go in. So that's where we kind of do all the stuff. But a lot of guys, in LA, a lot of them don't drink. So you don't really get a drink with them that much, or like pick their brain. Picking their brain about stuff is like, I've been doing comedy like almost 10 years, so I kind of know how it all works. The really stuff you start picking people's brains are, like what I'll do is I'll ask how you sell more tickets in a city you've never been. How much should you tip the staff when you go to when you headline a club? Or even like you'll see famous people, like I saw when comedian named Ali Wong started getting pretty famous. Mm-hmm. She went to the back bar and talked to Jesselnick and asked him, how do you start, acting like a famous comic? How much do you tip the valets? How much do you, when you got a theater gig, how early do you come in for checks and stuff like that? You do that more about career. I would say more career advice you ask rather than doing jokes, because that's kind of how each person does their own thing.
That's what I actually like worry about a lot, because I'm like, well, I hang out with Kyrie, and like I've seen him change, with getting an agent. Like he's really cautious of his settings. I really think he's like, oh, don't take a picture with me in it. Like, just ask my permission, all that shit. Do you worry about all that shit too, or like what kind of settings you put yourself in for that?
Sometimes, I mean, if I thought it would be a bad look, but I'm kind of like a piece of shit. And that's kind of my vibe. It's kind of not like I need. If anyone saw a picture of me, like, at a bar at 4 a.m., they wouldn't find it out of context. They'd be like, yeah, it seems like where it should be.
Then I'm glad it will. I'm glad I don't have to change too much.
So don't take a picture.
I put
Don't take a
myself in
picture of him.
compromising situations all the time. So.
I mean, it could matter at some day, but.
Just don't take a picture of him
keep going.
Giving a sandwich to a homeless kid.
Yeah, I could do that one. But I wouldn't want to be like that. You guys hear about that Patriots kicker?
No.
What happened?
Oh, yeah, check it out. So the Patriots drafted a kicker who has an alt-right militia.
Oh,
yes.
On the second floor. So, like, something like that, I would never want to be like, but I would never be at a place that I wouldn't want to be known to be at. I don't think do my thing.
Yeah, I don't see you being at a far-right rally.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to, like, Reading and hanging out in Trailer Park.
Damn.
Bring your AK with you, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really a problem for me, I don't think.
Yeah.
Boy, Allie missed out. She should have asked Dave Chappelle because it would have been 0 across the board.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe he tips other people, but he doesn't have the comedy stuff.
Oh, that's a shame. Since you brought up your shows, let's talk about Little Princes.
Oh, that was an older one. I think you're reading one of my old-ass bios, but it's okay. I enjoy it.
Oh, no, this I got off your Insta and your Facebook.
Oh, okay. You're going deep then. Little Princes was the first show I started at the Comedy Store. I started it with my buddy Hormos. It's just a normal straight-up stand-up show. And the thing with LA, a lot of people want themes for shows. Like, like Ladies Night or like they make you tell jokes about certain things or storytelling shows. So that show wasn't selling as good unless I had like someone big on it, which we did. We've had Ron White and Rogan on that. And then we went to that follow that show, which was the one I told you about, the crazy videos. And then now it's transferred into Buried, which I run with a buddy named Craig Conant, who he's pretty famous on Instagram and a great comic.
Sorry, I was taking a drink.
It's all good, man. Do your thing, bro.
Would you say social media is important if you want to, get famous and things like that?
Yeah, that's a hugely important thing. I'm having a little trouble with that, because it feels like you need to sell yourself out for it. Do some things that you might find embarrassing or not something like she was saying, not something I'd want to be associated with, like some of these sketches. But you could be like a guy like my buddy Trevor Wallace. If you've been on the internet, you should know who Trevor Wallace is. He has like all the famous sketches, and he started No Laws with the Claws. He has like 2 million Instagram followers. That guy has been doing comedy like 3-4 years. He's selling out theaters.
Damn.
Making 100,000 a weekend, So it's like, do you want to do a stupid? I mean, his content's actually pretty good at one of the low ones, but like these Instagram guys are selling out tickets. So some comics say, well, they're not going to last, but they're making $100,000 a weekend.
You about to make a TikTok video?
So actually, dude, okay, I got to say this. TikTok is fucking tight. It's not all little kids dancing. It's very funny videos. I laugh. I can laugh for hours off the feed. But I have a couple friends, a guy named Richard Sarvate, SF comic, and a guy named Dave Nihil, Irish Dave. They are both at over 300,000 followers on TikTok.
Damn.
Wow.
And they just got those in about 2 months. They got that many. So I don't know how we monetize TikTok yet. Instagram, you could have sponsored ads, but we'll see how those guys' ticket sales go once we sell tickets again. Because shit, by that time, Richard may have like 1 million followers, and if he can start headlining clubs, that's pretty cool. I have a couple videos on TikTok, but none of me are dancing like a fucking idiot. They're just stand-up clips. They're just stand-up clips. I'd rather die in obscurity than dance on a fucking video.
Well, there are different avenues, because I know not many people know who Paul Logan is, which is shocking because he's fucking.
I do.
I know Paul Logan. He's the less famous Logan.
Yeah.
Oh no, Logan Paul. Isn't it?
There you go.
He's the one with the nice arms.
Logan. No, he's
Logan
right. It's
Paul.
Logan Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Logan Paul. Dude, YouTube bought him a house in West Hollywood. A lot of these guys David Dobrik and these guys, like this huge YouTube place, YouTube will buy them a house if they make content constantly. So Logan Paul, they bought him a house, a mansion in West Hollywood, and then the city kicked him out because they're like, he was like just blowing up stuff constantly. And
we went up to Hollywood, my daughter and I. She was obsessed with him and David Dobrik. She got to meet David Dobrik, and we went and we like
how'd you meet David Dobrik?
She ran into him at Starbucks. She has a picture with him, and I hung out with Jason Nash for a second. Like we got a drink together. He was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't care at all about David Dobrik, but he is probably the most famous person on the planet.
Right, and we just randomly like ran into him because we waited all day in front of Logan Paul's house to meet him, and he was an asshole. And
that guy sucks.
I knocked on the door, and like someone from Team 10 was like, "Sorry, you can't knock on the door." And I was like, "My kid wants to meet you. It's hot. I don't want to fucking stand outside all day. Can you just fucking come out here?" And they wouldn't.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. I would say you're pretty crazy for less
my daughter
crazy
was
than
horrified and embarrassed. It was fine. They didn't come out. Whatever. She got to meet.
Of course they're not going to come out. Hey, I've been waiting outside of your house for 10 hours.
It was fucking hot outside. There was a group of us. It was ridiculous. I was over it.
I'm not going to do that.
A group of crazy people.
A group of ass girls.
Hey, can I just have a pair of your underwear to smell, please? God, stop being a dick. What's wrong with this guy? One pair of socks.
No interest in it.
I didn't want to
fucking. Right? Give me something. Shit, I want to go.
Wow.
All right, so I gotta ask, who is David Dobrik?
Oh my God, you don't know who David
You're too old.
Dobrik
Don't
is?
worry about it, man.
No,
it's
I
for
don't.
kids. He's the most famous guy in the world for kids.
I'll send you some links. He's pretty cool.
Like I know Team 10 just by accident.
Well, David
He's
Dobrik,
better. He's better than Logan Paul, man. He's like a nice guy, and
he does 4-minute and 20-second videos like every fucking day. Like he blogs every day for 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and it's pretty cool, man.
but it's not about weed. It's not about weed. He's
No, it's
very
not about
dorky.
weed. It's about all kinds of shit.
He's had 7 billion downloads.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Jesus.
He's the most famous.
He's fucking awesome.
He's like the most famous guy on the internet.
Yeah. Mr. Beast is pretty cool.
Never heard of him.
7 billion?
7.16 billion.
Good.
He started on Vine.
But he's a YouTube guy now, though.
Yeah.
Slovak.
I mean, he's
YouTube
everything.
guy.
He's huge on everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all old, I guess. I wouldn't know it if I didn't have a kid, probably. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's no excuse for me.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. His name comes up in like meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like host.
So what are you doing to entertain yourself during COVID right now? Are you writing a lot? Are you just fucking drinking by yourself?
No, man. No, I'm not. I've not been doing anything. I've rewatched The Wire. I rewatched Sopranos. I'm in the middle of rewatching Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I've just been wasting time, man. I write kind of on stage, you know? Like I'll have a premise and I'll think about it and I'll be like, I want to hit this premise and these 2 bits. It's almost like the way I do a joke is kind of like if I was swimming. If you're swimming in the ocean and there's buoys. So I know like this is the setup, this is the punchline.
Okay.
But I can kind of swim however I want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do that over and over again on stage, how I want to get there. And then in time, I'll realize the shortest path or the place of least resistance or the one that works best. And I'll do it like that. So I've been doing that. But other than that, man, my manager, he wants me to write these fucking one sheets, like pilots. I'm just too lazy. I don't know about lazy, but it's just like the mindset during quarantine isn't like, at least for me, it's not like hammer and nail shit, you know? It's like, it feels harder to do everything.
Yeah.
Feel you.
I mean, I've just been going to the river and doing shrooms, so I mean, I haven't been doing shit
Yes,
either.
you
I don't
have.
think anyone's trying to do anything. I mean, honestly.
What river? What part of
American
Sacramento do you live? Are you up? You're
I'm in Rancho. We're all in Sacramento. I'm in Rancho, yeah.
Rancho, yeah.
Yeah.
How's the river there? I got a couple buddies fishing. They've been going up more farther and farther north into Yuba.
I fucking love it. I go to the river every day. I either raft down it or just fucking do drugs by it. One or the other.
No, I had one day where I broke quarantine and just partied pretty hard on my birthday. Partied pretty hard. It was fun. It's good to get back to my naughty self, you know what I mean? For a bad boy, to keep a bad boy in timeout for this long is not healthy.
Right.
Gotta go break stuff. What?
Are you an Aries? When's your birthday?
Yeah, I'm in Aries.
Yeah.
I just had my birthday a little while ago. It was fun. I drank. I went wild. I had 25 beers, and then just did a lot. You know, I don't know who's gonna listen to this, but I had a lot.
Do you believe in that stuff, like the whole sign shit?
No, I'm a grown man. It'd be weird if I did.
He'll go with it because someone's talking to him and she looks like she's interested. Fucker.
Yeah, it's a girl. It's a girl thing. I know because if in LA, if a girl, it's like the 4th or 5th message on a dating app. They're like, "So what's your sign?" I almost know my moon. I'm not 100%. I used to know my moon sign too.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Send me your birthday, I'll tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's like you can have a moon, and then Jupiter can be in the house of Pluto and shit. It's weird.
Knock it off. You don't know anything. Go back to your questions.
It's like rising moon and setting moon, I think.
Remember how upset she got when we added a fucus?
Yeah.
What?
It's a real thing.
Yep.
Did you know they added
zodiac signs?
They added a zodiac sign.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. That's astronomy, not astrology.
I could ask. I have a couple of my friends have like the most popular horoscope podcast, so I can send that over to those ladies if you want.
Yes.
Get their scientific opinion.
Yeah,
it's called fuchsia.
Fucus. Oh, fucus. Yeah.
Fucus.
The serpent.
That's a terrible one. Imagine if you had to switch from some cool like Leo, now you're in fucus.
Just change everyone's perspective.
So we had Mikey Winfield on recently, and he talked about Sac being a very underrated comedy scene. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what's funny is, man, at being in Sacramento, you always feel like, I wouldn't even say the little brother. I'd say like the dirty cousin of every other city in every other city in LA. You know, San Francisco is like, you're just there. LA's like, I've never even heard of Sacramento. You know what I mean? And in the industry, it feels that way too. You know, they're not giving any love. But if you look at the past, I think 5 winners of stand-up NBC's comedy contest. This is a comedy contest that happens. I think like 30 or 40 venues across the United States, thousands of comics all across the United States. They start in their town, then it gets whittled down, then they go to another town, then it gets whittled down, then it comes to LA, and then out of those people, the winner, the last 5 have been from Sacramento.
Yep.
Now this is a diversity showcase, so I can't do it, but nothing wrong with that. I'm just me. Yeah, it's called Stand Up for Diversity. So they're trying to find the next kind of person, diverse comic. Good for, I'm not mad at it. Good for them. So the guy, one of the winners was Mikey Winfield, Sacramento.
Right.
Anthony DeGuzman Jr., Sacramento.
Okay.
Kyrie Shabazz, Sacramento. There's one more guy in there somewhere. And then the guy who won it this year, Renee Vaca, I believe he's from between Fresno and Stockton, somewhere in there.
What's his
so
name?
It's like Renee Vaca.
Okay.
Very funny guy, buddy of mine. He's a LA comic. But it's just, and you know what I think it is the real reason is because the Valley is, it's blue collar, diverse though. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely when you get outside, there gets a little racist, kind of weird areas when you go up north. But nonetheless, when you grow up, you have your friends are not, at least for me, or at least people I know, it was never like, it was just you had a diverse group of friends. You had a Japanese kid, there was a white guy, there's a Portuguese guy, there's a Mexican dude, there's a black guy, there's some Russian kid, there was a Hmong guy. It was like everyone would kind of just hang out. And so your comedy wasn't really based on just your culture. It was based on like an amalgam of what's going on. And I think that's why people from where we're from, though some people, they're racist and get a little weird. But otherwise, you have you have the ability to connect with different people more based on class rather than race. And blue collar is a very easy thing to transcend between people.
There's some pretty white pockets up here. I'm in Folsom. We used to.
Yeah, Folsom and Granite Bay are a little not really what
we
I'm
used
talking
to
about.
record
Redding.
And Rockland. It's pretty goddamn white.
Yeah.
I mean, not as bad as Placerville, but it's up there.
Yeah, once it gets a little northern, it's a little weird. But I think from like Stockton to Sacramento proper. Normally mixed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see gross
Depends
white
from
kids
there.
in tall tees and black Jordans too.
So, I have a couple cousins that live in LA, and I'm not gonna lie, they're a little weird. Is a lot of LA a little off?
I don't know. What do you mean weird? That's such a broad
Yeah.
topic.
Are you attracted to these cousins?
What's weird
too?
about it?
They do believe that 5G causes cancer and autism.
Oh, I don't think that's an LA thing. I think that's a
Conspiracy.
fucking people thing.
that's
It's
a weird one.
thing. Yeah.
And dude, I would rather have autism and 5G though. You know what I mean? It's like, what are they really complaining about here? Like, yeah, give this kid autism if I can fucking be on my Pornhub in the bathroom at work. I'll take that anytime.
You don't have to go to Pornhub. You could call a local phone sex operator instead and have more personal
I do Pornhub on silent. I don't need the audio.
Don't need bitches talking.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't need to go watch a talkie. We're cool with silent film.
Yeah, put in black and white, get Buster Keaton naked, and I'm gonna jerk
Oh
off.
my god. Such a typical guy.
Oh, somebody should do that. Put like piano music, old-timey piano music to a porn.
That would be funny. Just put a Ludwig filter on it or from Instagram or something.
Do you find yourself having to censor what you say in LA because it's so liberal?
No, I find it the opposite.
Really?
I find when I have to go to, but I'm a liberal guy, you know. But I also don't really talk about stuff. I don't really talk about politics. I'm not that smart to give my opinion on that. But like, I find when I go to like rural clubs like that, when I talk about gay rights, or I don't really talk about that much, but I have like some stuff that's like about that baker that wasn't going to give gay people a cake. I have a bit about that. Or but I would say anyone on the far of any spectrum is going to be a problem. Like redneck people or just like guys in rural areas. Oh, or the rich people. They're kind of awful in Orange County. You can say some shit and they get real loud. But also, you know, like my buddy has a show in Oakland, Anthony Orolfo, and it used to be like filled with lesbians, and that was the fucking hardest goddamn room. I would bomb my dick off because I look like the guy that they don't like. You know what I mean? If you drew a picture of like the white guy asshole, probably me at 28 looked exactly like that guy.
That's how I feel when I go to Luna's.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I could. But Luna's isn't like the guys who go to Luna's now. They're all just like they all look like white dudes from fucking Rancho Cordova or what's the place that everyone makes fun of in Sacramento? It's 2 words.
North Highlands?
Real Linda.
Oh, Real Linda.
I was close.
Man, I got a story about Real Linda.
Everyone has a story about Real Linda.
I don't.
Really? You even did meth for years. You don't have a story about Real Linda?
God, dog.
Jesus.
Well, you can't hold my secrets out. Fuck you. No, I'm not holding back.
Not at all. This will be verbal insult training.
I'm practicing, you guys. Fuck you.
How many rooms has Danny been in on this call?
Yeah, this is actually an open house. If anyone's looking to rent anything, anyone to show
Look at my humble
Garage.
The
Living room.
I can't smoke.
Dude, just eating a spare cupcake. Go back. Just eating who just has cupcakes laying around?
I just got this far.
I've never seen anyone eat a cupcake outside of a birthday party.
Hey, when your girl's baking cupcakes, you're like, all right, go ahead.
No, that's
What,
awesome.
cupcake? Haven't
Next
you
you
heard
just
if you can't share with the fucking class, don't have any at all? You could have waited.
Why?
I could have told my video, but I didn't. Sorry, my bad.
That's probably good, too. I've had her food.
Well, Anti-Vice is probably on that Twitter high.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she got a tweet that got 60,000 likes.
Ooh.
It got 30,000 in one day, which was insane.
Whoa.
What'd she tweet? What'd it say?
It didn't say the coronavirus is fake and everyone should go outside.
No,
what was it?
Let me pull it up real quick. It was actually pretty.
Sharon, it's your girlfriend. You don't know her tweet?
All right. The Onion announced it will close its publication, citing its writers can no longer come up with anything more absurd than actual fucking news.
Oh, that's pretty good.
All right.
It
fun.
was good. Yeah, but then I was checking out some of the replies. Some of the replies are just nuts. Like you got people, hey, listen to this, and it's their YouTube for their underground rap song.
Yeah, there's like apps where you can just do that and you just post your shit on other people's stuff that gets over like decent amount of likes. It's like, it's like, do people think that's how like Jay-Z got through? Like he just cold called people on phones to listen to this fucking album in like '92. It's like just be good and your stuff will rise to the top.
All right, since you're a California man, we've had this question going: who's better, Biggie or Tupac?
Oh fuck!
Fucking it.
I like Biggie.
God damn it!
He's just happy to be able to ask a white guy.
This is my thing about Tupac, man. Is he was a liberal arts student and he had like either he had severe mental illness or he liked to play these characters. I never understood how like one song was about killing people and like fuck the police, and the next one was Brenda's Got a Baby. It's just like pick a lane, man. Pick a person who you're gonna be. Are you Thug Life today? Or are you the emotional guy? And I could have just been mental illness, but Biggie was just like, I'm gonna sell cocaine. I'm gonna rap about that, and that's who I am. So that's what's gonna be. So I like more of the singular vision rather than this. Who's the real guy?
I mean, he did have his own, suicidal song and stuff and all that. And
yeah, exactly.
Get that girl,
like he had mental. Yeah. Oh, Biggie did.
Yeah, Biggie. Yeah, Biggie. Suicidal Tendencies. That was on his first album. Where he basically shot himself in the head and stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff there.
All right, but it wasn't as bad or not bad, I guess.
Yeah,
right,
we all start with shit that we don't carry on. So I mean, no one knows that fucking song but you, Sharon. So.
Hey, I know some stuff.
The only suicidal tendencies I know is the punk band. So.
I do like them too.
Shows how white I am.
Do you like punk music? Are you a punk music fan?
I mean, I'll listen to it. Rob's the punk aficionado.
Of the
group. Dude, I just went to a Bad Religion concert. You know Bad Religion?
Cool. Of course.
God,
yeah. I'm friends with there's a radio station in LA called there's K-Rock. People have heard of K-Rock. Yeah. And one of the only DJ they have left now is a chick named Megan Holiday, and she's a friend of mine. So I get to go to like all the weirdest little bands. Not weird or little. Bad Religion.
Well, nowadays,
but that was pretty fun. Yeah, but it was pretty fun because they're just like 68 years old. And they're just talking about LA burning and shit. And it was like, dude, you fucking drove here in a Prius.
Probably still a good show.
Yeah, it was good. It was great. They're really good, and everyone was really good. You could definitely tell the guys who like are still living the life and the guys who like had a wheatgrass shot before they went back on stage.
I remember I saw not so much punk, but I remember I saw Madness like 10 years ago.
I don't know that one.
They were like a second wave ska band, but they were all skinny little punks like back in the 80s, and I saw them, not in the 80s. And one of the sax player went to jump up on a speaker tower thing, and he couldn't make it. And like everyone had to stop while they watched him like turtle up onto this thing. Then we all cheered, and it was still fun, but it's just like, wow, I bet he used to do that in like one leap.
Yeah, and then backflip off of it.
Yeah.
He thinks about that a lot too. He's probably like, fuck it, why am I still doing this shit? I used to be I'm not as good as I once was.
The next
one, you just
go.
You can go.
Oh, I was gonna say that was like Manson when he got just fat as fuck. He climbed up on a speaker and it fell over, and the speaker fell on him. Ooh. It's the most hilarious video I've seen on YouTube in a while.
Nice.
Which is funny because he still had the thong too.
You think Ron Jeremy still gets a lot of pussy?
Of course.
Probably.
He comes around the comedy store all the time.
Yeah, I saw a picture of. I was on a Zoom comedy thing with some people in LA, Chip Nicholson and stuff, and For some reason, he came up. His topic came up, and he looks fucking horrible. So we were talking about it.
He looks pretty rough. He's relatively nice, but he's kind of brain dead, man. Sometimes you talk, it's like the Comedy Store is like on Sunset, so you get all these guys, and there's just some guys that just, there's not much left inside their heads, but they probably had a good time when there was stuff inside their heads.
Yeah. Do you ever see any child actors that just went to shit, just walking around?
Oh.
I gotta see Corey Feldman used to come in a decent amount. He's nice.
Yeah,
Definitely a weirdo.
Definitely.
Has he ever tried stand-up?
Nah. I got to see Chevy Chase do stand-up recently. He's one of my friends. One of the door girls at the Comedy Store. Actually, I probably shouldn't say this.
Oh, then never mind. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of celebrities that go in thinking I can do this down there?
No. So now the Comedy Store is not like that. If you're a celebrity, you don't just get to go on stage unless it's one of the smaller rooms. If it's a Comedy Store show, you have to be a Comedy Store person.
Got it.
Now, if you want to go to the Improv or especially the Laugh Factory, yeah, I've seen Jeremy Piven go up. I've seen Michael Rappaport go up.
Charlie Sheen.
No, I never saw Charlie Sheen. I think he's too much just having fun in his mansion.
I went to his show in San Francisco. It was gross.
You went to his show?
In San Francisco, yeah, to the Tiger Blood show. It was gross, man. He was like just fucking ranting and raving, and I'm like, why did I pay $150 for this ticket?
Yeah, sorry,
because that's why.
Because he's your type.
Yeah, because you're like, this man's gonna die one day, and I want to see him in person.
Ready to see him now.
He's on my Deadpool team.
I know. Pre-AIDS, though. Pre-AIDS. I don't like him now.
Jesus. Way to be inclusive.
I know. Poor fella.
Yeah, it's not 100% you'll get it.
I'm not I don't want to fuck Charlie Sheen. He looks gross now.
Mm.
Not even for the story?
Now?
He's too skinny.
And his teeth are all like falling out of his head.
Yeah, that's kind of gross too. He could probably afford new ones. Yeah. Anyway.
If he stops buying Coke.
Damn.
I don't think he's going to do that.
All right, well, that is it for my questions. You guys got anything before we go to our next thing?
Keep going.
He's got shit to do. I'm sure he's a busy guy. We'll just...
Okay, fine.
Refill that gallon bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes back and it's all yellow.
Yeah.
All right.
My fucking dick was out earlier.
Yeah, you missed it, Danny.
What?
It wasn't out, but he was doing something to where his crotch was right in the camera and his zipper was undone.
Damn it.
Hollywood power move.
Oh, man. Don't edit it, man. Don't edit it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wrong Zoom show.
I wanted to talk to an actress that wanted a part.
Yeah.
All right. Plug any social media you got.
You can follow me at Scuba Steve Furey on Instagram. You can follow at Punching Up Show. That's the fighting one. We post a new video normally twice a week. Each one's about a minute and a half. You can follow me on TikTok at Steve Furey. That's about it. That's all I got. No podcast, no nothing.
All right.
In May, I believe Tuesdays at 8 on E. Check out Dating No Filter.
All right, Rob.
I get my side project, Stand Up Dad's Podcast. I do that with my buddy Mike. We talk about parenting nonsense. We drop new episodes every Sunday.
All right, Sharon.
You can see me on I Am Big Poetry Podcast. I drop there every Monday. And now it's also Wednesday. Right now we're doing a female rapper theme. So check it out.
Nice. Danny.
You can find me at Rad Chick Forever on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, fucking TikTok, Venmo, Cash App.
You're on Twitch?
I am on Twitch. I haven't done shit with it yet, but I have an account.
All right. And then if you want to email us, gagonthispodcast@gmail.com, our website, gagonthispodcast.com. The episode description will have the show and guest social media. And now it is time for Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliance.
Yes. Have you listened to the podcast, Steve?
This podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I haven't listened to
Okay. I love it when they're just so candid because some people are like, yeah, I have. Totally.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Inside the Comic Studio is brought to you by Ballsy Brand Ball Wash and Ball Guard. Promo code GAG15 for 15% off your tire order. All right, we ask all comics the same 5 questions. So the first question is your first joke that landed well.
It was a longer bit. It was about zoos. It was pretty much about this flamingo, about when God was making flamingos. Why did he make a flamingo with his leg always up? And then I would say, this water's nasty, but I'd say it with like a gay accent. And it would fucking smash. That was like the best joke I ever had. Like, this water's nasty. And people would be like, yes. And yeah, that was my best bit when I was starting out.
All right.
I thought I'd be famous for that stupid ass bit. I was like, this is going to put me next to Dave Chappelle.
You'd be Flamingo
nasty.
Fury.
Yeah.
Flamingo
So
Fury.
delusional.
Favorite thing about the local comedy scene?
Mine or Sacramento?
Let's go Sac.
Stage time is really good. And I like Laughs Unlimited and Punchline in the Comedy Spot. You have good clubs. They have good stage time. And there's been some good stuff come out of there. And San Francisco is a great place to go when you start feeling a little more confident to go try your stuff too. So it's a great scene up there altogether.
All right. What about LA? What's your favorite thing about the LA scene?
Everyone's really nice, man. You know, whether it's actually genuine or they like they're being nice to me because I'm a paid regular or they think I'm funny. Everyone's pretty fucking nice, man. Whereas in Sacramento, a lot of people just talk shit about each other all the time. That's kind of what happens in a small scene, and it's fun to talk shit. But in LA, you really can't talk shit about people. It's really looked down upon.
Nice. Something you dislike or would like to see changed in the comedy scene?
I think they should make me famous.
Nice.
It's not happening right now, and I don't understand why it's not happening.
Bring the flamingo joke back. You'll be fine.
This is nasty to the Comedy Store original.
Yeah. Don't take life advice from me. I'm sure you already know that, though.
That was a fucking good one, Danny. That tickled me. Who's your favorite Sacramento comedian?
Besides myself?
Yeah.
Of all time or living there right now?
Let's just go all time.
Probably Kyrie. He's kind of Cleveland, but I feel he's both. But probably Kyrie.
Yeah. Too bad he made it famous and his agent won't let him come on our podcast.
No, stop it.
He probably just doesn't want to do your podcast.
Why the guy is?
I don't think I mean, it's the name's a little weird, but he probably just doesn't want to.
It's a double entendre because we have comedians on and they tell gags.
And I had nothing to do with this name, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, that's a great
Wow.
name. I'm like, I forced my way onto this goddamn thing.
Throw on the bus.
I think it sucks because nobody has been like, this is a dope name for a podcast. Everyone's like, it's a little weird.
Everyone's deep, even in your emblem, everyone's deep throating. So it's like, all right, man, I got time. I got nothing to do. I'll do it.
Well, thank you. All right. Lastly, advice to new comedians.
Go up every day as many times as you can and don't quit your day job.
Have you seen people quit their day job a little too soon?
Yes, I have. I've seen many people quit their day job before too soon. I quit when I got that TV. I got that check on the TV show. I was like, I'm out. I don't need the Comedy Store no more. I'm going to be famous forever. Like 2 months come by and I'm like, I need to come back. Someone help me.
Are they understanding about letting you back down there?
Oh, I didn't. It worked out. I started getting more road work and stuff like that. But I just had to adjust, you know. But, yeah, I would say don't quit your day job. Go up as much as you can. and then really do it for 3 years nonstop, as hard as you can, and then look back and say, is this what I want to potentially waste my life doing?
I have a quick question. So how long into comedy did you start, trying to put on shows here?
I would suggest start a show as soon as you can.
Would you say
Build
start
an
a show
audience.
rather than do an open mic room?
Fucking open mic room. What that does nothing for you.
Like just running.
It doesn't put money in your pocket. The set you're going to do, practice hosting an open mic. Okay, you're calling people's names, and an idiot could do that. Just get a show. Get people at that show. Make it make money. Then be like, hey, like let's say you wanted to do, this is what I would do. I'm a very conniving man. I find paths to whatever I want, and I find that path, right? I wanted to get bigger in San Francisco. What did I do? Help start a show in Sacramento. Got the comics in San Francisco whose shows I want to do. Got them into my show. I go up before them. They see I'm good. Then when I ask to do their show, I get it. I start doing shows more in SF in LA and Sacramento. Bring up LA people. Do the same thing. Get to LA. Do the same thing. Now with that show Buried I talked about, I know the 3 headliners, but they're not always going to watch your set. So what do? I get Bert to go on. I get Bert on my show. I put him right after me, so he has to watch my spot. He lets me open for him a couple times. You do that again. Start a show. You make money.
Yeah.
You can help people out. It's very important, and that's the true practice you get is going up in front of other people. Do open mic still, but start a show. Do monthly. Get people there. It'll work out for you.
All right. Thank you.
That's fucking genius. I like you put Bird on after, and then he has to watch my set.
Yep. And then I'm closing with my best bit, and I'm walking past him, and then
that's pretty. You're pretty manipulative. I like it. You're pretty crafty. You're crafty. You're not manipulative. You're crafty.
I don't mind. Yeah, exactly. But I did it when also, like I was talking, when I thought I was ready. I put myself to go up right in front of Bert when I knew I'm gonna be ready to hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Very strategic. Nice.
Yeah, it is. Anybody have anything else before we cut loose?
Nah.
Nope.
That's good
I
talking,
really
Steve.
appreciate you coming on. You were fucking awesome, man. Maybe my favorite episode so far, and I've said that like the last 3 times, but this time I mean it.
Oh, that must be as genuine then.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Always.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was real fun.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Take it easy.
All right, see you guys.